Hello and welcome to another update video about Ethereum. Ethereum seems to be in this quite aggressive uptrend still. I don't see any sign of exhaustion yet, and that's good. In my last update yesterday, I mentioned and posted that Ether needs to catch up with Bitcoin. It's not exactly doing that at this stage though, but Ether needs to catch up with Bitcoin because otherwise Ether might be caught in a larger correction, when Bitcoin is doing its fourth wave. The fourth wave I talked about in the last video on the Bitcoin chart. So again, Ether has a possibility to enter here a deeper pullback that would be in the yellow wave count. It's only my alternative perspective. I'm not following this primarily. So the yellow wave count is basically suggesting that, it's a bullish structure, but we have a 5-wave pattern to the upside, which is fine. We can count it like that. It's just that it's a little bit too long. This move to the upside is a little bit too strong to be reliable for all of wave 1. That just has to do with the proportions, how they are laid out on the daily time frame. I shared that with you, I think in the last video, or at least over the last week anyway. So a wave 2 could definitely happen from here. Still a deep wave 2 with support between 2,367 and 2,795. And as long as 2,367 is holding, we should see a third wave rally to the upside afterwards. However, because of the length and the aggressiveness of this move up, I highlighted to you that, the yellow count is still possible, but I'm starting to lean towards the white count. It just became more probable. It's a count I added yesterday. There was no invalidation about the yellow count or so. The trend never changed. But the white one suggests a much more aggressive direct pathway. They don't really differ in terms of long-term targets much, but it just means that more directly we could possibly see further extensions without any deeper pullbacks in the white count. There should be pullbacks, but if you look at the proportions on the daily chart, you'll see that these should be really minor, at least in the next over the next few sessions or so, as we get closer to 3,600, 4,000, 5,000. You see it here. So we have a very bullish structure. This chart has been followed since August 22. This daily chart. There hasn't been any significant change or readjustment on the daily chart, of course, on the smaller time frames, but the assumption that this is a bullish structure hasn't changed. And we started tracking that already in 2022, which is pretty cool. And it's now finally playing out. We're getting that upside momentum. Just be aware that we're approaching the next structural resistance at 3,580. The next major structural resistance above that is at nearly $5,000. Okay, so we're now dealing with this here, obviously. And, if this here, the entire move from the 23rd of January was all of a wave 1, it would be a little bit too long compared to this wave 1. There are always other possibilities, but I see them less probable right now. And the wave 2 in this scenario here, the way I track it now, it was very shallow. And then the wave 4 could also be very shallow because waves 2 and 4 are often sort of linked in terms of duration. We could still see a wave 5 and circle wave 3, should take us way higher, obviously. Maybe even, ideal target would be 40,060 plus, so higher, okay? And looking at the subdivisions, it should send us higher. Then the wave 4 here, circle wave 4, should be the next deeper pullback. So that will take a while. So there's a good, I have nothing to add to the daily chart. It's still bullish. Looking at the shorter time frame, I have obviously added a support area for that smaller degree wave 2 here, assuming that the white count is playing out and it's formed the 1-2 setup, which is very shallow. Then this additional 1-2 setup could follow. We might now be in a wave 1. But again, also here, how to count this? It's a bit difficult. Very shallow pullbacks. This could be a 1-2. Is this a 3-4-5? Then again, it should still push higher. I have at least no evidence that wave 1 of that larger third wave is finished. So it can still push higher. If we get a pullback, which could happen from this region, but there's absolutely no signal it's doing that. It's just pushing against the upper boundary line of the trend channel. So we could see some resistance there. But if a pullback happens from here, then micro support in the white count is between 2,958 and 3,121. Usually we say, you know, if we have that larger wave 1 here in white, Roman wave 1, and we go to the low of the wave 2, then we normally say that wave 1 of the larger third wave typically can top at the 38.2 extension. That's 3,300. There is therefore Fibonacci resistance, micro resistance. The next one above that is basically at around 3,580. You know, it's not only significant Fibonacci resistance, it's also that structural resistance that I mentioned to you on the daily chart. So please be aware of that. But yeah, I'm just watching for that wave 2 pullback. Not saying it's due yet necessarily. It's not due yet, but it should happen at some point. So I'd prefer to give you at least a support area, which, as I said, is not a target, especially not in a very bullish market. But if the price dips into this area, this is basically your risk. They are the risk levels. The scenario doesn't change until we break below them. That's my update about Ether. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.